Everybody,
Happy Monday.
happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great and fantastic and wonderful, marvelous weekend.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
we had a good one. We spent fun time outside working and stuff, and then we spent some time in the closet.
We did. We got nice and cozy.
Yeah.
We had the 3 adults and 3 dogs all in the closet.
And it had this scary tornado stuff on. And
Yes.
So we're all packed in there, man.
Yes, but luckily God protected us through it and everything was okay. And we now have a tornado room.
We do.
That's the second time we've had to. Well, one time we had to do it as practice. This time was real.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would think growing up, my mom would have thought all my rooms were tornado rooms.
because of your clothes.
Yeah, everything else.
That's really funny. I like it. Oh, my mom said, and I was taking pictures in there. So it was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, and we were all asleep. And then the alarms went off on our phone. So we jumped up, got the dogs, and went in the closet. And so, like, everyone was in their pajamas. And but I took pictures so I could capture the moment.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
leave it to me, photo book. Well, today is Matthew 16.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys are enjoying Matthew. It's actually been a really cool book. I enjoy it.
I've enjoyed it a lot too.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. And so starting off with Matthew 16.
Well, I do have some notes, of course. Ha, ha, ha.
Uh,
But the first part's talking about the Pharisees and Sadducees. You know, those guys are just a mess. But I kind of like this. Is on verse number 2, you guys all know this saying. Red sky at night, sailors delight. Red sky in the morn, sailors take warn. And Jesus actually saying it. Because he even says, when it's evening, you guys say it'll be fair weather for the sky is red. And in the morning, it'll be stormy because the sky is red. Because the sky is red. Isn't that funny, though? I didn't know that it was actually in the Bible.
I didn't either.
Isn't that wicked? I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's all I had on that one.
That's a pretty good one.
I do have a note on 4. And this one is my note from John MacArthur. And again, it's Jesus talking, comparing them to Jonah. And my nose is itching, sorry. But this time, Jesus rebuked them for being so concerned with heavenly signs that they could not even interpret the signs of the times all around them. Then he referred to the... Can you finish?
Ooh, watch out.
Sorry.
Back to the closet. Gotta go to the closet now.
Sorry.
But then he referred them to the same sign he gave them before, the sign of the prophet Jonah.
Because they were sitting there saying, well, we'll believe in you if you send us a sign from heaven. And he's like, no, you guys don't even see the signs right here in your face. I'm not going to send you one from heaven.
Yeah.
So, sorry for my, I guess, allergies. It's not the virus. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got, honey?
Well, something here, I was just looking at this part here where Jesus is talking to the disciples and it talks about they reached the other side of the lake or whatever without bread. But Jesus says, watch out, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and stuff. And their disciples are like, he knows we didn't bring any bread.
I know.
And so they're concerned about Jesus or...
How they failed.
Yeah, but they're forgetting that Jesus didn't have to worry about bread because Jesus just fed, what did he say here? He fed 5,000 and then 4,000 people with only a few fish and some bread. And so... So anyway, it just shows how they forget the miracles right away.
Which is wild because you would think that you wouldn't forget that. But because they're right there with Jesus. And this couldn't be maybe a month in between these stories. And I don't know how long, but it can't be more than a month probably. And that's wicked that they could just forget. Or wicked, that's what I said that. Wild that they could just forget that quickly.
Well, and it shows why we need to always continue to be like in church and things like that because we quickly forget.
Yes.
Even the beautiful things like the grace of God can be forgotten really quick.
Well, and look how easy it is to forget our blessings.
It is.
I mean, really, I can have a really feeling sorry for myself day and go, oh yeah, I forgot my blessings.
I mean, how many things have we prayed for that's come to pass or whatever, and we're on to the next thing praying about that without looking back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
true.
amazing.
It's true.
So, but anyway, the bottom line was that Jesus was saying that, and they finally understood that he was saying, beware of the Pharisees, the teaching of the Pharisees.
Because they'll mislead you.
Yeah, and just a little bit of leaven will cause the big thing to rise. So.
That's exactly, and I actually have that same verse for 12, and mine just kind of says, really it's saying the same thing, so I'm not even going to go over it. Dink.
12?
Yep, so you go right ahead. I like that one. I like yours. You said exactly the same thing.
Oh, okay.
I have one 17.
17. Okay.
And this one is then Jesus is saying, oh, this one's a little long. Christ's messianic claims had always been subtle allusions to Old Testament prophecies, combined with miraculous works that substantiated those claims. Never before had he explicitly taught Peter and the apostles the fullness of his identity. God the Father had opened Peter's eyes to see the full significance of those claims and revealed to him who Jesus really was. In other words, God had opened Peter's heart to this deeper knowledge of Christ by faith. Peter was not merely expressing an academic opinion about the identity of Christ. This was a confession of Peter's personal faith made possible by the divinely regenerated heart.
That's cool.
It's really cool because this Peter says, because Jesus is saying, who do you say I am, or whatever, and he says, you're the Christ, Son of the living God. Well, Jesus didn't teach them that, so that's what it's saying is that came from God.
That's
so that was really cool. I know. Yeah. I thought that was neat.
And so in that same area, going the verse ahead of that, verse 15, I think it is, or 16. Well, anyway, in this verse here, where you are the Christ, the Son of the living God, Augustine had this really cool note, and I just had to write this down. And the way you listen to Augustine, sometimes I was thinking about Rush Limbaugh, the way he talks. You know, I don't know why, it just sounds that way. But and that Augustine said, where did Peter get it that he could say, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God? Where did he get it from? Really, from his own resources? Perish the thought. I'll remind you of the gospel. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And the Lord said, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah. And Augustine says, why? Blessed from your own resources? No. Flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, which you are. My Father who is in heaven has revealed it to you. And so, the same note, really, pretty much.
It is.
But I like, Augustine is kind of fun to read like that. And then
I like the way you impersonate him.
Well, like in verse 18, the same thing. Talking about, and I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. And Augustine again, and 50 other, I have see all these, look at all those church fathers.
I do, but they can't see that.
They can't see that. But there's 50 other church fathers that say exactly the same thing. But says Christ, you see, built his church not on a man, but on Peter's confession. What is Peter's confession? You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. There's the rock for you. There's the foundation. There's the church has been built, which the gates of hell and the underworld cannot conquer. And so what it really comes down to is when Peter is teaching what Jesus is teaching, teaching his teachings, he is, the rock. He's teaching the rock, and he's teaching Christ. But we'll see in a couple more verses when he doesn't do that, and Peter's no longer the rock, he's actually in trouble. Yeah. So, but to actually follow the Christ, or the confession of Christ, is actually to teach Christ's teachings. And that goes with the leaven of the Pharisees. Yes. Because he said, be careful about the leaven of the Pharisees. People teach outside of that.
That's true. You'll like this. John MacArthur's note for that same thing was saying that it's a play. Jesus is using a play on words. Because, Jesus does do that and plays on words and does parables. And he was actually saying, I don't want to say it wrong, but he was kind of saying, I'm trying to find it, but Peter... He's trying to say that Peter is like a little guy, a man, a human, and that he's using the rock is his, he gave out a bold statement that was a rock. Yeah. And so for him being a little guy, he gave out a big statement. I'm trying to find it real fast.
You call him like a pebble or something like that,
yes.
Right?
A boulder. So Jesus' words here are best interpreted as a simple play on words, and that a boulder-like truth came from the mouth of one who was called a small stone. Because Peter, the name Peter means Petros, which means a small stone. Yeah. So Peter's name means small stone, but he projected a boulder-like statement about Jesus.
That's that's really good. Augustine was saying also about that, as Christians are called Christians after Christ, Christ, Christians. Yeah. Peter was called rock after the rock. He was the rocky after the rock. And so he gets his extension off there. You look at me like cross-eyed.
I didn't know what you meant. I understood Christians for Christ, but was Peter?
But Peter was a rock after the rock. What
do you mean the rock?
Jesus is the rock. He's also Christ. Okay. Is that hard?
I don't understand. But Mom's laughing.
Mom, do you understand?
Yeah, I'm laughing because you have to keep explaining it.
I'm a dense head. Okay, let's just skip it because Mom got it, so everybody else will too.
Okay, let's go.
That's me.
That's cute. But anyway, so all right, let me see what you got next.
I have 27. Oh no, 28.
28. Let me see where I'm at. Okay, and I want to go to this thing
Okay.
here in 22. Now we just saw how Peter made the confession he was a rock, or he's actually his confession is a rock. Now look what happens with Peter.
He gets in trouble.
He's in trouble
Yep.
because he's outside of the teaching of Christ, and he's saying, he's rebuking the Lord for saying he's going to be perishing and things.
And he's trying to be, he's doing it innocently. He'd probably be like me. Well, no, God, that's not going to happen to you. And then I'd get in
You
trouble.
know how Peter is. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like, no, everybody else will run away from you, but I'll be right there. And
Yeah.
the rooster cocks, So,
Yes.
so as long as the person is teaching the teachings of Christ, they are teaching solid foundation
Mm-hmm.
rock. So everybody can come in and out of it just like that. I mean, it's that easy to do. So.
Yeah, the next sentence.
The next sentence. I mean, the same guy's been getting the pat on the basket and rebuked. So.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
So anyway, I love Peter. He's cool.
He is really awesome.
All right. So go ahead.
Okay, I have a note on 28, which is the last one. And my note is, in all three of the synoptic gospels, this promise is made immediately prior to the transfiguration. Furthermore, because it's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
What is it?
On 28, where it says that, for the Son of Man is going to come with his angels in the glory of the Father, and then he will repay each according to what he has done. And it says, truly I say, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man.
All right.
And so in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, this story comes right before the Transfiguration. And furthermore, the word for kingdom can be translated to royal splendor. And therefore, it seems most natural to interpret this promise as a reference to the Transfiguration, which some of the disciples, Peter, James, and John, would witness only 6 days later. And so I think that's neat that it was kind of talking, because it is a little confusing, like saying, well, some of you will not see this until you die. Well, all those guys are dead.
Yeah.
So what's Jesus talking about? Like the second coming?
I get it.
That's not correct,
Okay.
because he wasn't talking about the second coming. So he's talking about the Transfiguration.
I never even thought about that.
Isn't that cool?
I didn't really know what to think about that, so that's good.
So I like that.
That's good, yeah. That helps.
Thanks, John MacArthur.
Hey,
All right, guys.
All right, well.
That brings us to another close of the day.
Yes, it does.
And we'll see you tomorrow, Matthew 17.
Yeah, and write some questions, write some stuff on our on the site so we know you're there.
Yeah, we want to know you're there. I mean, if this time of day doesn't work, let us know, and we can try something else too.
It doesn't have to be
So
Bible stuff. It can just be fun stuff that lifts you up every day. We all need that right now.
absolutely.
So. All right.
All right. Well, prayers to everybody. We love you.
Love you. Rock and roll.
Bye.